Second chances. Postscript.
As usual, it was a hot sunny day in the Nevada desert. Sergeant Stella Black woke at the usual time, showered and dressed and prepared for the day. While she adjusted her hair and makeup, she listened to the news. The usual amount of fires and police actions were reported, and then the typical weather report began.
Hot today. Temperatures will be in the mid-90s, no moisture in the forecast for today. The 5-day. We interrupt this broadcast to bring you this breaking story. This morning at 5:47 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, aircraft appeared over San Francisco, Seattle, and Los Angeles, bombing those cities and suburbs. Washington, D.C., the president has received the following message from the Iranian government. The people of the Arab nations hereby declare war on the great Satan, the United States of America.
Stella, startled, ran out of her billets. She ran to her squadron orderly room to see what orders would be issued because of this catastrophe. The charge of quarters was getting off the phone, and he toggled the unit intercom.
All personnel are to report as soon as possible to the squadron shelter. All personnel are to report as soon as possible to the squadron shelter.
Then Stella began to feel the building tremble, and she heard a continuous roar. An Air Force security policeman ran into the orderly room.
They're bombing Vegas and Nellis, and they're coming here.
Stella thought only a moment and ran out of the orderly room in search of Dr. Franklin. Stella ran to the entrance of Dr. Franklin's lab and barged in. She saw Dr. Franklin and cried, "Dr. Franklin, where is David?" Dr. Franklin replied,
Young lady, you should not be in here. This is a highly classified project. Now, you will have to leave.
Stella was near hysteria as she replied, "Dr. Franklin, don't you know what's happening out there? The Arabs are bombing us. We are under attack. For heaven's sake, tell me where David is." Dr. Franklin regarded the young woman as he spoke.
Yes, I know what is happening. David is safe. He is in cryosleep several hundred feet beneath this building.
Stella asked, "Can you wake him?" Dr. Franklin made a decision and replied,
No, we cannot wake him. The program is for a year, and it would be too dangerous to wake him sooner than a year. But he is safe. Under this building are a number of facilities. There is an automated reactor 1,000 feet below. The computer complex is 800 feet below. And then there are several sleep chambers about 500 feet down.
Stella calmed herself and asked, "Dr. Franklin, is it possible for me to join him?" Dr. Franklin answered,
I decided just a moment ago that you could go into cryosleep also. We will adjust your program so that you both will wake at the same time, if that is okay with you.
With that decision, Dr. Franklin escorted Stella to an elevator, and they descended beneath the laboratory building. Dr. Franklin showed Stella the chamber where David slept. Then he took her into another part of the facility and showed her the cryo chamber she would occupy for the next 6 months. Stella awoke to see a metal face looking at her through the glass of the chamber. She was extremely cold, but she thought that face looked a little familiar. As the chamber opened, a very pleasing voice came from the metal face.
Sergeant Black, welcome to the future. I'm Dr. R. Franklin, and I am here to help you. You have been in cryosleep for 494 years, and my assignment is to prepare you to face the world of today.
Stella looked at the robot and asked, "Where is David?" Art Franklin answered,
David was found 4 years ago. He has just graduated from the System Naval Academy. He was promoted to commander and has been assigned to a heavy cruiser. I don't know where he is.
Stella asked through her tears. "But now, what about me?" Art Franklin replied,
I have prevailed upon the President of the United States to give you an assignment as a midshipman at the System Naval Academy. There, you will be educated in today's technology. Then you will be allowed to choose your future. David and another soldier have been there before you and leave you a fine legacy to follow. Or, if you don't wish to do that, we will explore other options for you.
Stella thought for a moment, then replied, "If I join the System Navy, maybe I'll find David." "Let's do that, okay?" After 4 years at the Academy, Sergeant Stella Black, United States Air Force, was commissioned as an ensign in the System Navy. Stella graduated 3rd in her class, and when she went into the assignment hall, a petty officer informed her that Admiral Timothy Halloran had arranged for her to be assigned to the USS Constitution, and she would be transferred to her assignment at 1300 hours on the day of graduation. Stella had asked about David's whereabouts numerous times, and each time she was told that such information was classified and therefore unavailable to a midshipman and unavailable to a mere ensign. Perhaps, when she had joined her ship, her captain could make such inquiries for her. John Self has been given back his former rank of captain and will be retrofitting another of the old Constitution-class heavy cruisers. He has been assigned the USS Constellation and an experienced crew to take the ship out of mothballs. And Beverly Slater Self turned down her promotion to remain a commander to be her husband's first officer. T. Vass and Sorrell regained their rank of Commodore and have been assigned to the System Navy headquarters. It was fascinating to find out that later, when T. Vass and Sorrell returned to Hephaestustion for the traditional Hephaestustion wedding, that T. Vass was the lovely young lady that Sorrell's parents had arranged for him to be bonded with in their youth. Jenny Olsen was returned to her former rank of captain and was assigned to retrofit even another of the old ships, the USS Exeter, which will be rechristened the USS Missouri. Lieutenant Tori Abels has assumed the rank of commander and became Jenny's first officer. Larry Sorensen was promoted to commander and has assumed the position of first officer of the USS Constitution. Commodore Jerry Clausen was assigned to refit and command another of the old heavy cruisers, the USS Potemkin. As for Admiral Timothy Halloran, he got his wish, too. Admiral Maravich gave him the option of refitting and commanding the old Constitution-class Enterprise. Only that ship would be rechristened the USS Timothy Halloran. The entire crew of the Constitution regained all or some of their former rank. Many reassignments have left David with about half of his original crew. The System Navy has filled the vacant billets with green recruits and ensigns. But now that the ship has had mission experience, training the replacements will be a new adventure. Well, the rest you know. Today, Lieutenant Stella Black Stevens and Captain David Stevens are very happy, expecting a child in about 8 months. And the USS Constitution is a ship of the line, a ship to be reckoned with among the vessels of the System Navy.